Thanks for the support as a channel member, Mumongu Gaming. We're after doing far better than we ever thought possible in the Champions League group stages and finishing top of a group that involved Atletico and Bayern Munich. Today we venture into the Champions League knockout rounds for the first time. Hello and welcome to part 123 of Born Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a Premier League game at home against Arsenal and our first Champions League knockout round game away against Valencia. Since you were last with me, we've continued to experiment with the 4-3-1-2. And it's gone quite well. We beat Burnley, we beat Norwich, we beat West Ham. We did lose against Southampton. As you can see, though, Gervin Gunnaiden gave... I still don't know how to say his name. He's scoring loads of goals. He had a goal there. He got two goals there. Gomez weighing in with a couple as well. Juninho popping up with a goal. I think we've got three strikers of very similar ability. And I don't really know what combinations to be playing them in. We're still without all of our wingers. They're going to be missing for at least another month or so before the first signs of any of them returning. So we've got to make it through the whole of this first knockout round, home and away, without Cernajacki, without Cook, without Bellico. So we are going to be pursuing with the 4-3-1-2, and we did make one little signing in January to try and fit that system a little bit better. I've been talking about him all year long. Ashley Oatway has returned on loan until the end of the season. We're having to pay a significant loan fee to have him in. Okay, it's £400,000. It's not that significant, but he's coming. But the first thing he's done is caught the virus that's been passing around the club recently. So he's not going to be available for us today, but at least we do now have an alternative to Mira. We continued the clear out of fringe players in January as well. Esteban Ruiz went to Newcastle for 3.6 million. Ionescu's gone back to Universitatea Craiova, a team he arrived at us from. He's gone back tail between his legs. Sold for 2.2 million. Was a complete dud. He's gone back there. He's still only played once for Romania at 23. That should have been the warning sign that he probably wasn't as good as my scout was trying to lead me to believe he was. The fact that I think when he signed for us, he'd never played for Romania, whereas he's picked up that one game since he's been with us. He might go back there and be fantastic, but I suspect it'll be the reverse situation of a lot of those transfers I've done over the years. I mean, we're doing a few in the Twitch save at the moment, twitch.tv/Laluja. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday with home, and we've done a lot of these on there where we sell a player for not a lot of money and then loan him back forever and then sign him back permanently. They've done kind of the reverse of that to us, because I imagine he'll just go back to them and then join them on a free transfer at the end of his deal. We just gave them 2 million for nothing, really. This is the team we're playing against Arsenal today. And we've got Messinho in goal. You can see I've tweaked it a little bit more. It's constantly getting tweaked. We've even got Regulus on a fullback instruction. I haven't used a fullback rather than a wingback for ages. But Sarmiento now plays as the Mazzala on this side and gets out wide. Juninho gets out there. Ricardo as a trequartista gets out there a little bit as well. And we've got our playmaker as Ariel on this side, with Arango now on the attack instruction as a complete wingback, trying to get him up involved in the attacks as much as possible. And today we're going with Juninho and Gervin because they're the two who are in form, 7.1 and 7.04 in their last 5 games, whereas Gomez only averaging a 6.96 in his last 5. He is struggling for form at the moment, which is... I think he's missing Cernajacki. So we're going with Messinho in goal, a back four of Regulus, Da Silva, Diaz and Arango, Sarmiento, Mira and Ariel in midfield, Ricardo behind Gervin and Juninho up front. Da Silva is the latest person to be wanted by a big club, in this case Manchester United, and similar to what we had with Sarmiento. While they're interested, doesn't want to sign a new contract. He has an £80 million release clause, so he'll either be going to Manchester United for £80 million in the summer, or they'll drop their interest, and the moment they do, we can offer him a new contract and take that release clause out. I know a lot of you are probably going to say, Kev, why did you put the release clauses in the first place? What you have to remember is when I signed these players, they were largely players who didn't really want to come here, and we had to really persuade them. And this is when we were going around and collecting wonder kids, particularly Brazilians, similar to Da Silva. Juninho was another one, Sarmiento, Cernajacki's another example. These are players who were probably too good to sign for us, definitely too good to sign for us when they arrived, but we managed to convince them to come with the promise of using our club as a stepping stone, release clauses, that kind of thing. And as we've grown as a club, we're slowly but surely taking most of them out, but De Silva still holding out for keeping his release clause in place at the moment. Just got to adjust these bits that I have to adjust every single time I play a football match in this game. Corner comes in, it's cleared a little. Well, I don't even know if cleared is the right word. Mira headed it. He managed to connect with it with his head, but it didn't actually go anywhere. We're going to ask for some creativity. We've been struggling to get hold of the ball so far in this game. 43% of the possession. We're used to having a little bit more of the ball than that, especially against. I mean, I know we're playing Arsenal, and you'd expect us to probably lose against Arsenal. But looking at the league table, they're only one place above us. And they're a team that we can leapfrog back into those European qualification spots today, if we can beat them. Arango does well to get the tackle in there, plays the ball forward, looking for Juninho, who couldn't quite get beyond that last defender. I know I had been playing around with using the false nine, but he was kind of drifting in and out of games. He was good when he got the ball, but then less so when he spent long parts of the game not getting the ball. So I'm using my fancy player as a trequartista behind him now, experimenting with that as we try and figure out how best to apply this 4-3-1-2. That was not an ideal thing to happen, having Arsenal score against us. Arango actually joining in with the defending, which is unusual for him, but just heading it straight to Arsenal, and then they got in behind him and grabbed the goal. And it is quite tight in these kind of 6th to 10th positions. But with another defeat here, we are going to be dropping down closer to 10th or in 10th than 6th. So we really do need to pick up a win in a game like this. And I don't know why Diaz was so slow getting to the ball there. It was like he was moving through treacle. And luckily he's got, I don't even know who that is, Arango maybe coming across to help him out, and Regulus drags the ball clear. But what was Diaz up to? Took the throw, came back to him, and it was like he just didn't want the ball. Absolute madness. Right, aggressive. Show us something different in this second half. Why can't I use words at the moment? It really is a little bit of a problem. You know, with this job that I do, if I can't get words out of my mouth when I'm supposed to be making videos. Both Ricardo and Juninho not really playing well in these different roles that they're in today. So I think we're probably going to take them off and then mix those roles up again for the next game. Juninho is going to come off for Gomez. Ricardo can come off and we can bring Robinson on in there. And Robinson, I'm going to make a shadow striker. And Gervin, maybe we'll make him... we'll leave him as a... Perhaps we'll put him as a complete forward on attack and just try and get him a little bit further forward. Switch the system to attacking as well. And really try and get at them and demand more. And try and grab an equaliser at least. A draw at least salvages something from the game. Robinson with the corner, and De Silva couldn't get onto the end of it, but it falls to Ariel, who's looking for options ahead of him. He's still keeping hold of the ball, doing quite well here. Cross comes in, Gomez is there, and I said he was in poor form, but there he is. He's been on the pitch for 2 minutes, and he's popped up with a goal. Never count out Christian Gomez. It's the first time in his born career he's not been an automatic selection, and he's come off the bench and proven why, Kevin, that is your mistake. Play him. And he's just played himself into the game for the into the team for the Valencia game by grabbing a very important goal there. Keep going, boys. 10 minutes of passion to finish the game off. We're in the ascendancy. We've got a chance here to grab a win. Sarmiento's going to come off for Cogni. We're going to make him... no, you know what? We'll leave him as the Mazzala on that side. He can drift out into these wide areas. He's a left back, for goodness sake. He's basically going to be playing on the left wing, which apparently he can't do, but he can play on the right wing as an inside forward, if you believe his position suitability, which of course I don't. And we never had another highlight. Well, at least we did get to salvage something. I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. That's fired them up. We've not won in 3 games now in the Premier League. Back into some poor form there. But also very much in the mix chasing Europe with, 10 games to go? We're only 4 points behind Burnley. We're in 6th place and in free fall. So I think it's realistically us, Arsenal, and probably Man United and Tottenham are probably already done. But us and Arsenal will very much have West Ham, Leicester and Burnley in their sights as we try and push up into those European spots and squeeze some of these little clubs out of it. But for now, let's go and try and beat Valencia. See how the 4-3-1-2 does in Europe. So, a couple of changes for the Valencia game. One of them forced, well, they were kind of both forced, really. One of them was forced by Gomez coming on and scoring, which means he comes back in the team to partner Juninho. And the other change is Ariel has now joined the ever-growing list of people who've got this virus/flu thing that's going around. So Robinson comes in to the into the midfield with Ricardo dropping back into the 3, and that's kind of pushed my thought process over the edge and back into having the shadow striker in there, because that suits Robinson much better. Juninho can drop back to being the false 9 alongside Gomez. That's kind of the front two I had in mind when we started playing this system. Gervin's just kind of pushed himself into the mix by being the more dangerous goal scorer lately, but it's a big game. We'll play this combination. Gervin can come off the bench and be a super sub, and maybe that will help. We have got Amlang back in our squad now, by the way. We talked in the last episode about how he couldn't play for more than 2 clubs in 1 year. Apparently, when it came to deadline day and squad registration, all that goes out the window. So he is now registered in both squads. The only problem is he's another one who's picked up the virus. So it's a bit of a worry that there's all this poorliness going around in addition to the injury crisis. But we are still just about able to put an 11 out, although having to play Robinson from the start in a Champions League knockout round game was not really what I had in mind when we brought him back on loan yet again. He was very much here with the idea being he just allows us to have closer to a 25-man Champions League squad. He certainly wasn't expected to be in the team. But with Ruiz gone, Ariel ill, and all the wingers out injured, we need Ricardo back in the central midfield, because otherwise it would be Cogni in there, which again I don't think Cogni is the man to start a game like this. So we are very much down to the bare bones, and poor old Zimmerman still can't get in the team. So he must be wondering what he's got to do. But realistically, if we have to make more than a couple of substitutions in this game, we're going to have to go back to some kind of winger variant, because we don't have any midfielders other than Cogni, who I'm still not fully convinced that's what he is. He's the only one who can come on. So if we have to change the attack up at all, we've obviously got Gervin, but Zimmerman would be the other attacking change to come on. Gomez had the potential to get in there, but the goalkeeper probably alert to his antics and just clears the ball away. And now Valencia coming down this left-hand side. Obviously, with this being an away game, first leg Champions League knockout round game, we'd be very happy with any kind of flavour of draw from this. This is completely uncharted territory for us here at Bourne, but any kind of draw would be fine. An away goal would be extraordinary, and we've just got to hope we can have a few more of our injured and ill players back for the home leg, which is a good 2 or 3 weeks away, and hopefully do them over at our place. Obviously, we have previous with doing that exact job against a La Liga team who are higher in the table than Valencia are. We beat them 5-0 at home. We drew at their place to end up top of our group. So we can do that kind of structure against La Liga teams, but probably not with a team that's down to the bare bones as much as this one is, as shown by Valencia going 1-0 up just before half-time. But we have got the opportunity here to drag ourselves back into it. If we can get an immediate equaliser, that would be lovely stuff. Mazinho has the ball at the moment, plays it forward to Da Silva, who's got a couple of options ahead of him, but is faffing about with the ball, and Mazinho takes things into his own hands, lumps it forward to Gomez, who gets the flick on, but it's now back with Valencia, so maybe this wasn't our highlight after all. They're now playing the big ball forward, and Diaz has been ruined there, but luckily the shot has gone high and wide, when really they could have just kept running. They took Diaz completely out of the defence there with one touch, and they could have got a lot closer to the goal, but decided to shoot early, which is just as well for us. And now, as we approach half-time, it's Valencia on the attack again. If we can get the ball off them here, we could probably spring a counter-attack of our own, but that's a big if, because they just seem to be playing at a different level to what we are. Diaz gets the header clear, but there's no one out there on the right-hand side to keep the ball for us. So it's just straight back to Valencia again. Ball over the top. Arango needs to track back there. It ends up with Da Silva, who heads clear. But again, all we're doing with these clearances is giving the ball back to Valencia so they can start again. Mira does intercept one. Mazinho lumps it forward. Juninho with the flick back. And Gomez is in. And there's the little counter-attack that we talked about potentially being able to do. Give Christian Gomez a chance like that and he will score. And there is the away goal. It's Mazinho lumping it forward. Juninho somehow wins that in the air. Robinson does the little 1-2 with Juninho, spots the run of Gomez and is in. And it's 1-1. And that's our first chance of the game. And lovely stuff. 1-1. This would be a fantastic result. We would take this. Mira plays it across to Ricardo, who's looking for that ball over the top again, looking for Gomez. Gomez is in again, but this time can't quite force it past the goalkeeper. If he'd have done that a second time in a minute just before half time, that would have been ridiculous. Robinson, corner, looking for Da Silva, doesn't find him. Juninho's the one who's chasing down after the ball. And I think, have we got another corner here? No, I think that's half time. Well, that exploded into life right before half time. Give the fans a good performance despite being against the odds. I think that's a decent team talk because we are massively against the odds. We're away from home in the Champions League. We're down at what are we in 10th place in the Premier League? And now we're 2-1 down. And all the goals are very close together in this game. 515 people have travelled from Bourne all the way to Spain for this game. Lovely stuff. But now we've left ourselves, if we're looking for this score draw, the all-important score draw, then we need a ball over the top to Gomez again. Realistically, it looks like our best chance of a goal. Juninho now with space to run into. He had Robinson and Gomez ahead of him. Robinson wins the ball back there, finds Arango who's charging forward and shoots and scores an absolutely stunning goal from Juan Arango, who ever since we've given it, he has benefited more than anybody, even more than the two young strikers. He's benefited more than anybody from this tactical change because he just owns this right-hand side now and just charges forward and does that. I've seen him score that goal 3 times in the 6 matches or so that we've played this. I think you've seen all 3 of those goals, in fact. Arango is loving this and finally starting to look like some of the world-class right-backs that we had in non-league to legend this year. I don't think he's quite in that category yet, but if he can keep doing stuff like that, he's getting there. Weirdly, he wasn't doing that when he had Cernajacki ahead of him. Maybe he was intimidated. Right, Juninho's not having the best of games, so Gervin can come on for him. Likewise, Congni can come on for Sarmiento. And they're really the only 2 pre-planned substitutions we had. Anything after this, it's going to involve a change to the defence or a tactical change to get Zimmerman into things. So there might not be a final change. Although Diaz isn't having the greatest of games, we could probably just bring Henschel on for him and get him doing that. Probably need to swap those 2 over, actually. We need the covering defender in there behind Arango, and he can be there as the stopper. We're knowing that Regulus has got him covered. Right. Let's get creative. A winner here would be ridiculous. We don't deserve one, but it would be lovely to go and nick one. 2-2 is fantastic for us. What a result. And Robinson has come in after that criticism of him early on in the game. He's come in, had a brilliant game and got both assists. So Robinson has done really well. That feels offside, surely. Surely that is offside. It's 93rd minute winner for Valencia. I mean, to me, it looks like they had 4 players offside. Are we going to get the... Here we go. I mean, who's playing him on there? Controversy in the 93rd minute. That's for sure. Can't fault your effort. We did play very well. And you know what? We'd have taken 3-2 beforehand because it gives us 2 away goals and a tight scoreline to look to overturn in the return leg when we're going to have a few more of our players available because it's... How long have we got until that? So it's currently the 25th of February. The home leg, is the 17th of March. So we've got 3 weeks to get some of our players fit again. I don't think we're going to get the big guys back. Cook could potentially be back in 3 weeks, as could Cernajacki. I mean, they could all be back. They're not going to be, though. But what we will have back is Ariel and Oatway, so it gives us a little bit more option in midfield, which is going to be important. And that'll be the match that we see on tomorrow's episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.